We have the Hisuian Avalugg coming to Pokemon Go on Saturday. So, is it going to be worth your time, energy, and resources? And what are going to be some of those top tips to help you break down the event? Let's get into it starting right now. So, Hisuian Avalugg is going to be similar to the regular Avalugg, but it's a slightly different form. It's instead of an all ice type, it is going to be a rock and an ice type combination. But this event is going to be going down from Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. So, if you guys are watching this video and it is after the tips day and you do want to see where the best of the best for this Pokemon is, you guys can check the timestamps and jump to that part of the video right now. And I will be doing this in downtown Bend, Oregon. So if you guys are in the area or want to come out, I will see you guys out there. So definitely stay tuned to the Bend Discord, or I will post where I'm going to be meeting at online on some of my social medias at the Trainer Club with 2Bs. So with that said, now let's get into the tips for this, because we have some event bonuses going on. We have the ability to earn up to 5 additional free raid passes, and then also we have the ability to get more shiny Avalugg in Pokemon Go, which is always very cool because there are going to be some increased shiny chances. And if you guys do want to see the regular, you can check out up here, and the shiny looks pretty cool. You can check it out over here. I am very fond of this event because I did not have the ability to get the Braviary like I will be able to do for this one, because unfortunately, or fortunately, I was out in the woods camping, so I only got to do 4 raids, and unfortunately in 4 I did not get the shiny. So this is going to be my makeup for sure. So with that said, now let's get into the video. And also, if you guys do want any more raid battles, you guys can check into the Discord, jump in there, or you can join the Patreon to get even more of these Pokemon, because there are definitely going to be some people getting Shundos for sure out there, and I hope all you guys do get it too. So if you want more raids to go more time zones, definitely check out the Patreon. So the Hisuian Avalugg, being an ice and a rock type Pokemon, is going to max out at 3909. So with it being the double typing, it is going to be double weak to 2 things, which are going to make up our primary counters, which is going to be fighting double weakness and a steel double weakness. And we have a lot of fighting and steel type Pokemon, including some shadows that are extremely good. And then it's also going to be weak to water, rock, ground, and grass. This Pokemon is going to have a 100% IV at 1975 for level 20, and then it's going to be boosted in partly cloudy weather, or it's also going to be boosted in another condition, which is going to be snowy weather at 2469. So there's a lot of people out there in the world that do have potential to get this Pokemon as a weather boost. Its fast moves are going to be Powder Snow, Tackle, and Bite, and its charge moves are going to be Blizzard, Rock Slide, and Crunch. So a unique combination of movesets. And if you guys do want more tips, I will be giving them here in a second after we go over this quick counter guide. So let's talk about the megas that you guys do want to use. You can use Mega Aerodactyl, number 1. Number 2, you can use any of the other ice type Pokemon, which are going to include Abomasnow as well as Glalie. But with this Pokemon being double weak to a lot of things, I would probably stick away from the counter megas. But if you do want to use one of the counter megas, because they're not really the strongest as of yet, there's Mega Lopunny, not the best. Mega Blaziken will be pretty good, however, not the best fighting mega. But let's check out some of the other counters out there. Number 1, I'm going to recommend the Terrakion with Double Kick as well as Sacred Sword. This Pokemon is an absolute monster, extremely good. If you want to check out that video, check it out up here. And then also along with this Pokemon, we are going to recommend the Shadow Machamp with Counter and Dynamic Punch. Extremely good Pokemon right there. And then we also have the Shadow Metagross, which is going to be Bullet Punch as well as Meteor Mash. That is going to be the number 1 recommended counter from me as of right now, except for the fact that if it does have Bite, it will be making a damage in this Pokemon. The one benefit of the Shadow fighting Pokemon is that they are going to resist Bite, but they are going to be a little bit glassier at the same time. And then another Shadow out there, still a budget counter, is going to be Shadow Hariyama. And then we have the regular Bullet Punch Meteor Mash on the Metagross, followed by Lucario with Counter and Aura Sphere. And then we have Conkeldurr with Counter and Dynamic Punch, followed by the Dialga with the all steel typings. And that's going to be as far down as I would recommend. Obviously, we do have things like Breloom, other fighting types, and other steel type Pokemon, but obviously Metagross as well as Machamp, Lucario are more budget counters, meaning you don't have to pay to raid to get this XL candy. So with that said, what are we going to do with the top tips for this Pokemon? Honestly, guys, this Pokemon is going to be a tier 3 Pokemon. So is it worth popping eggs for this raid day? There's going to be a lot of raids out there. You can take them down pretty fast. If you are catching in the background, you could. What I would suggest doing is having 1 egg run with some of your best friends, ultra friends, great friends, and double team up on that XP. But beyond that, I would probably stick away from them if you are not a pay-to-play player, because they're tier 5 raids that you could do during raid hour that are giving you 15,000 per XP right now without the lucky egg. On a lucky egg, that's 30,000 XP, which is pretty good. On 4 of those, you're looking at 120,000 XP. So that would be my recommendation as far as this goes. But beyond that, what I would suggest doing is raiding for the shiny, getting those shinies, keeping the shinies, because at some point they will become valuable, because at some point you are going to have the lack of these Pokemon, or they're maybe making their way back into tier 3 raids like the Braviary. I do not have one as of right now, so now I'm looking at this Pokemon like, oh my gosh, should I raid for it? I'll do an occasional raid for it, but since I missed out on those increased shiny odds, unfortunately it is much more challenging to get, and in the future you could have the same exact scenario here, having a rarer shiny that you were able to get relatively easily. So with that said, now let's change over to the best of the best and check out, is the Avalugg going to be worth your time, energy, and resources to raid for? Well, this Pokemon is going to max out at 3909 with an attack value of 214, a defense of 238, and a stamina of 216. So if I'm looking at this Pokemon as a meta attacker, maybe not the best, probably pretty decent, but at the same time, looking at this Pokemon for a PvP Pokemon in the Master League, it does look pretty good from first glance. But just remember, it is going to be double weak to fighting as well as the steel type combination, so it is going to be a little bit glassy there. It's going to have 4 of those regular weaknesses that we did talk about, and its resistances are going to be ice, flying, normal, and poison. So there's only 4 things that this Pokemon is going to be resisting, and unfortunately those double weaknesses are going to be very cautious when you are using it in GBL. So let's check out the ER of this Pokemon to see what is going to be the best moveset comparing this Pokemon and the regular Avalugg. For the Avaluggs and the Hisuian Avalugg combination, it looks like we have Ice Fang and Avalanche for the regular Avalugg at the top at 3182. The Hisuian Avalugg is going to be Bite and Rock Slide at its most powerful potential at 31.06, Bite and Blizzard, which unfortunately is 30.88, and down the list. So obviously, if the regular Avalugg is better, this one is not going to be the best, but let's check it out in the rock category and see where it does sit. This is going to be the page number 1, which is not going to feature this Pokemon because the top Pokemon in here for all rock type is going to be 46.27, making the other Pokemon not so relevant. So unfortunately, as a meta attacker, this Pokemon is not, I repeat, is not going to be the best. However, maybe it will do well in the GBL because I am not going to recommend you guys do max this Pokemon, but for GBL, let's check it out. It cannot be in the Great League because of its stats and how high it is when you do catch it. But in the Ultra League, it's ranked 227, which is not so promising and kind of scares me as of right now, but let's check out the Master League. It is going to be ranked 54, is going to be ahead of the regular Avalugg with the moveset combination of Powder Snow, Blizzard, and Rock Slide. So with that being in the Master League, you guys are going to have to play with this Pokemon and see how many Pokemon in the Steel combination, because remember, Dialga does get a Steel move as its secondary charge move, which could be a problem for this Pokemon. And then also we have fighting types, which a lot of Pokemon do have secondary fighting moves, or there are fighting type Pokemon in the Master League. So it is a little bit of a chance, a little bit of a gamble, but if you like this Pokemon, it plays well and you do enjoy it, because just remember, Powder Snow is one of those moves that charges moves relatively fast. Man, you could really do some damage right here. So that is going to be my recommendation. If you do power it up, you can use that as an ice type attacker, even though there are much better ice type attackers such as Darmanitan and other things like that, including the Kyurem that just got Glaciate. If you do want to check that video, you can see it up here. So thank you guys for being here as always. To all my likers, comments, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes your support and participation to the next level, and see you guys out on the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.